What do you think about selling albums on USB drives? When I was in Cuba, I learned people were consuming music and movies through USB because of the lack of internet. What do you think for Africa? That was an idea I had 10 years ago. Going to shows and giving a little box where inside the box you would have a little USB drive like this with the albums and maybe 2 or 3 music videos plus a t-shirt, and give this as boxes and selling it instead of the online thing. In Africa, it's very interesting because Africa has an interesting thing with technology. Africa just leaps, so it just goes like it stays, and then all of a sudden like it goes from 2G to 4G directly, and then from 4G will go directly to 5G, but like it's gonna be like fast. So I don't know if selling the music on USB drives is not too late in Africa. It really depends who's the demographic, and it depends from country to country, because more and more the new generation, and the new generation is always the indicator. So you have to look at in every country, every city, how is the consumption of this new generation made? Because when I see my boys Sauti Sol, for example, in Kenya, on YouTube, they have millions and hundreds of millions of views, right? Are all these views coming from Kenya? Are these views coming from Africa in general? Or are they coming from outside? So you have to look at the numbers and you will know exactly how is the people consuming in a country. And I think in Africa, we are on the verge of internet becoming public utility, and becoming just so cheap that access is easy. I think we are almost there. So I believe that what is needed now in Africa is just that the infrastructure makes the internet that we already all have, in our countries better, faster, and that the platforms arrive. And YouTube is there. All these platforms are there, and they are all looking for a way to monetize it. Once they find a way to monetize it, they will realize that, okay, there's 1 billion people in Africa. If we want to monetize, we also need to have a good infrastructure, and we need internet to be fast and cheap. When this happens, it's gonna be exactly like in South America, when reggaeton, the third coming of reggaeton, exploded with the J Balvin and all these artists. It was not because all of a sudden there was somebody who did something revolutionary. It's just what happened was that internet on the cell phones, because people are not, from country to country it changed, but I know, for example, I'm going to take Congo. Most people are not used to have a Wi-Fi at home. So everybody's using their data. And because everybody's using their data, it costs a lot of money. And the carriers who don't make money in Europe anymore, they go to Africa. For example, carriers like Orange, which is a French company, they don't make money anymore in France because the competition has made that you have people who will give you Wi-Fi plus a phone plus two SIMs plus unlimited internet plus unlimited calling for 29 euros a month. And so what they do is they have to follow, of course, they have to follow the competition, and they don't make money anymore on the stupid things that they used to charge for super expensive. Like listen, I remember when just on Christmas Day, when you were sending an SMS to everybody back 15 years ago, you would send like 100 messages on Christmas Day, and another 100 message on Happy New Year. And you could not do like on WhatsApp, you just select one message and send it to 300 people. Now you have to send them one by one, and sometimes those messages would arrive like 3 days later, but they would charge you for every SMS. In the US, it was even worse. They would charge you if you receive and if you send. So the first thing you see is your balance minus 10 cents, and then you receive a message. And when you reply, you lose another 10 cents. So a conversation would cost you $1 or $2 or $3 very fast. And so all these people, because they don't make money in Europe anymore, they go to Africa and they charge 10 times, 20 times the price that they charge in Europe, in Africa. So I remember when to have like, I don't know, 1 gigabyte in Congo, it would cost you, I don't want to say stupid prices, but it would cost you like $5 or $10. And then now for $10, I think you can have 10 gigs or 5 gigs. And I think now for $1 you can have 24 hours unlimited. But at a point, competition and the fact that there's enough people in the network, they will say, okay, unlimited internet for let's say $20. $20 unlimited, or unlimited YouTube and unlimited WhatsApp, for example. And all of a sudden, local artists explodes just because of that. Just because the people who love your music can have access to on demand, and they can watch your music videos forever. And if you add now YouTube adding monetization in local African countries, then all of a sudden the local artists can also become famous from their village or from their city or from anywhere, or just from their country, and make the same amount of money that we make here from Europe. And that's when it becomes interesting. The question is just when. And it's up to either us waiting for them to do something, or one of us doing it. One of us becoming the person who will create all this market defining infrastructure, and or talking to Google and telling them, hey, I can talk to the government and I can do this or that. So it's very, like, I personally, selling albums on USB, I would do it if the market is still far behind on what I just told. But if they are ready, if they are already in that place and they're about to explode, I don't think it's worth it. But